What up, y'all? X back, and yeah, it's time to get back into what we normally do, and that's checking out some news that's been going on in this world. And unfortunately, we're gonna go back to Worldstarhiphop. It's a website that I think I expressed enough on this channel that I really don't like going towards or going to get my sources of information, but I think it tells a lot of truth. You know, it's kind of like unfiltered in a way. So there's already a terrible one that I already seen. It's talking about punishment for child molester. So we gonna dive right into this shit, because not only am I interested, I'm a little bit baffled. So let's take a look. What the fuck is going on there?
As of today, Louisiana is now the first state in the country to allow convicted child rapists to be surgically castrated.
Jesus
Capitol
Christ.
correspondent Chris Rosado has been following this for us for some time now. It's been a few years to get this one passed. He joins us now in the studio. Chris.
Yeah, well, like other bills we've seen become law this year, this was another one that took several tries to get it across the finish line.
For the first time in the country's history, child rapists can now be ordered by a judge to have their testicles removed if the victim is under the age of 13 and the offender is older than 17. The law already allowed for judges to issue an order of chemical castration prior to the new law.
At the end of the day, I hope the kids know that they can feel safer, because there would be some real tough penalty actions that would occur when somebody violates.
That's a way to put it, ain't it? Holy crap. That woman has this, I don't know about y'all, but I can sense some kind of joy in this woman's voice from her saying and being able to pronounce this herself, Senator Regina Barrow. So, fortunately, and I guess unfortunately, this is only in the state of Louisiana. So, it's kind of interesting, but I guess like it's so pronounced, like this type of activity is so pronounced in Louisiana that they had enough of this shit that's going on, and they jumped it up a notch as far as the punishment. This is where we need to go in this country. I think the repercussions for doing stuff like that, I don't think there should be nothing else less than getting castrated. Let's continue.
It's their innocence.
The law also includes the crime of pornography involving juveniles as an underlying offense. And
Don't
it's
tell
also
me they're
not
gonna
just
get
limited
castrated
to
for
male
that, too.
offenders.
Unfortunately, females are molesting children as well.
Right.
And that's a very sad thing to see and to hear. As a matter of fact, in one of the cases I was reading not too long ago, I read a case where that was actually happening with guards with children in a particular facility.
However, there are some circumstances where the convicted offender might not qualify for the procedure, but that would be up to the judge and a doctor at the Department of Corrections.
The problem with something like this is, multifaceted.
Attorney Jill Craft says she understands what the law is intended to do, but says she anticipates it to be challenged in the courts, arguing it falls under cruel and unusual punishment.
It kind of harkens back to...
Man, why is that a question? Like, isn't the act of, like, this child molesting, isn't that already terrible? So, what do you mean, like, this is where the justice system, I think, fails us, because, like, how are you going to say that removing this dude's testicles is on par with what he did to the child? I don't know if that makes sense with how I put it, but you know what I mean? So, like, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Like, you touch a child, your balls are getting cut off. But it really makes me think, like, what about for the woman's side? What about for the woman's side? What's going to happen to the woman? It makes things a little more complicated, doesn't it? Let's wrap this up and move on to the next one.
If you steal from me, I'm going to cut off your hand. Okay, well, how come we don't do that in the United States anymore? Well, because it's cruel and unusual punishment.
Kraft explains how in most incidents of forcible rape, the act is done not so much out of some sick sexual desire, but something much more sinister.
It's not the notion of having sex with somebody for some sort of pleasure. It is the notion of domination and control. I understand what they think they were trying to accomplish. It's just this is not the way.
All right, we're going to end it right there. This is not the way. Mrs. Kraft saying so. Like, that could be debated. I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably agree with the type of punishment, and a lot of people don't. So, as always, we'll see what happens with that. I think we should, definitely follow up on that. But we shall continue. We shall continue. Trump calls out Kamala Harris for suddenly turning black. She was Indian all the way, then she made a turn. Let's go ahead and see exactly what Mr. Trump was talking about.
Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition of
Sir,
that.
I'm asking you a question,
No,
a
you
very
have to
direct
define
question.
it. Define it for me if you
I
would.
just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So, I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman.
I
She went to a
respect either
historically black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do
And
you
I
believe
think-
that she...
I think, yeah, man, this shit is a fucking circus, if you ask me. I'm all for Trump. I'll go ahead and say it, but I'm not voting. I'm just saying, like, I'm more on Trump's side than anybody else's side, because Trump has did a lot, even for the black community, whether y'all realize that or not. Trump knows how to work around things now, regardless of his preference, with, I guess, people. Everybody's allowed to have their preference, I guess, when it comes to things like that. And I think it takes a mature mind to actually see past the bullshit and or recognize tactics on how to get people to interact or react, because that's part of this campaign thing too, so all right, my bad, y'all. Yeah, so this this thing with Kamala, again, I don't really get into politics too much. I don't think it's really more of a thing like a woman taking presidency as opposed to a man. I'm not into that either, And what I'm trying to say, because I did not make myself clear on that, I don't care if a woman becomes presidency, or president at all, as opposed to a man. I think the thing is how these people are presenting themselves and how they're choosing to tackle the problems that we have in America. And from what I've seen and heard about Mrs. Harris, there's this thing that I gotta say it like this, because again, I'm not into politics much at all. I know what's going on around the country. There's too much to keep up with. But the things that I do cross my my threshold and my sight, my ears, it's nonsense. But one of the things that came across to me from about Miss Harris is this thing that she uses that people call word salad. It's making things sound good, which ends up not making sense. And she seems to use that a lot. Now, I've seen somebody else say that Trump kind of uses the same thing, but Trump has already been president already, and he has done quite a few things, all right, for a lot of different areas. So I guess in the end, this is always going to be a debate. Everybody's going to have their own ideas and their opinions and their preferences of what should happen, and that there's never ever going to be a middle ground. But I just wanted to say my piece about that. We're moving on. I think we'll do maybe two more. What the fuck is going on? Oh God. Police brutality. Baltimore cop presses gun to restrain man's head during arrest. What? Why? 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 Alright, we have the sound off. I'm pretty sure the sound will come on. But he's already restrained. Oh, he's trying to fight though. He's trying to fight. Well, that's the problem. Okay, alright, well, I mean, I see the gun now, right against his head. I think that's a little bit uncalled for. He doesn't have to use that. I'm pretty sure it's kind of clear that the man does not have a weapon. I don't know if they got to search him that well, but there's like 5 of y'all at least around him, or what? The only thing I really want to say about this scene right here is that, of course, this dude who's restrained is a dumbass. Like, why the fuck try to run, especially when you got, man, I don't know, man. There's this type of energy that people is just getting overwhelmed by, and it goes for the authorities and the actual civilians, and people don't seem to know how to read people and act accordingly. So we're gonna move on. This is sad. This is why I choose to stay out of fucking people's way and mind my own business. And when I sense something, I move the fuck on. We'll do one more, y'all. We'll make this a quick one. Let's jump to page 2. It's very interesting that the second page has some of the videos that I did in my last Worldstarhiphop video. Has there been like a slowdown of shit going on? I guess to kind of say that's kind of cool. Wait a second, what is that? 17-year-old boy murders 28-year-old woman after she laughed at him because he couldn't get it up in the bedroom. Alright, let's take it down a notch a little bit, but it's still kind of extreme. Damn.
We're the Factor Uncensored. Thank you for hanging in there with us. Now to some serious and scary business. There's all kinds of risk to consider when you decide to date someone, and especially if you decide to bring them home for sex on that first night. One woman likely had no clue how dangerous one guy would be to her after bringing him to her place after having drinks at a bar. My next guests share their thoughts on this hookup that took a very dark and deadly turn.
Damn.
And joining us for this very strange conversation, we have with us Fort Bend County Constable Nabil Shaikh, Lady McAllen, and CEO Aid to Victims of Domestic Violence, Maisha Coulter. So when you guys hear about this case, we're talking about 28-year-old Blanca, and they didn't give her last name, and 17-year-old Muhammad Ali apparently met casually, went back to her apartment to have sex. He couldn't perform, couldn't get an erection. She laughed at him, and he murdered her. Your thoughts on this, McAllen, Lady McAllen? First of all, when you think about casual
let's stop
sex
it right there.
encounters like
Let's
this.
stop it right there. This is definitely odd. This is definitely odd because it's a 17-year-old, and it's actually about to lay it down on a damn 28-year-old woman. The dude should be all ready for that, but maybe he had a little too much to drink and stuff. I don't know, man. You know, sometimes that could affect the man. It's happened to me before. I'll be honest. You know, like you have a little too much to drink, and some things just start working. Okay, that could be the case, but I guess him being as young as he is, I guess his ego would be hurt. Kind of sucks, man. Yeah, it does, because not only is he not a fully mature adult yet, he's just becoming or coming into adulthood, and processing emotions, and because like I could just remember myself when I was that age. Women kind of still like freaked me out a little bit, you know. I kind of don't know how to put it. Being nervous around them, wanting to be seen in a good light, wanting them to, I guess, like you for who you are. But as a young person at that age, you kind of like show off a little bit more. So, and then those feelings of, yo, is she really buying it and stuff like that, you know, like all that's probably going on in this kid's mind. So it's a little bit sad, especially that it had to go to this point of murdering. God damn, dude. God damn. But hold on, it says that she laughed. Is that what the dude said? Maybe that's just what he said to kind of, I guess, numb the blow to everybody. Even though it still doesn't make sense. But maybe he just wanted to throw something out there. Y'all know what I'm trying to say? I'm like thinking like, how does everybody know that she laughed at his erectile issue? It had to be Mr. Ali explaining to the cops that, hey, this happened because she fucking laughed at me while I was trying to perform. This is a weird one. Let's stop this and just move on to another one, because yeah. Oh my god, dude. Man who went viral for driving on a suspended license was actually a victim of clerical error. The suspension should have been lifted 2 years ago. He's evil. Man kills woman and her daughter by purposely speeding into an SUV. Wow, dude. Let's take a look at that.
Only on 4 tonight, newly released dashcam video shows the seconds before a car crashed into oncoming traffic and killed a woman and her young daughter.
Now, the man who has been jailed for more than a year, accused of intentionally causing that crash, may soon bond out of jail. He faces 2 charges of second-degree murder.
Northern Virginia Bureau Chief Julie Carey was in court today when prosecutors presented evidence, including video from that dash cam. And we want to warn you, some of what you're about to see is disturbing.
Oh, shit. Let that be a warning, y'all. Oh, my God. Hold on. Is it these people?
To try to convince him to keep Mustafa Al-Jazeera behind bars. It shows the moments before his car crashed into oncoming traffic.
It's totally
his girlfriend, Dorothy Fontaine, and her 5-year-old daughter. There is no audio, but prosecutors say the couple's facial expressions indicated they were arguing, continuing a fight that began earlier in the day over a former boyfriend. Then, as the car reaches an intersection, it veers left into oncoming traffic.
Dude.
Prosecutors saying Al-Jazeera did it intentionally. Another camera angle showing the victim's face and fear as she braces for impact.
Oh, Lord
Al-Jazeera's
have mercy,
expression
dude.
changing little. Prosecutors telling the judge the video proves if Al-Jazeera is released, he poses a danger to the public. But the defense attorney...
We're going to stop it right there. Again, there's this energy that's going around, and I keep saying this because every single day of my life is centered around, one of the main things that I focus on is learning again to read people, the people that's around me, and knowing how to act ahead of time. You know, some things could be triggering to people about what people say, and some people could just easily get overwhelmed or frustrated. And yeah, that's one of the things I focus on, not to get to that point. Yes, exactly what I was just talking about. Keep your teeth and your hands to yourselves. Out. Close my door. Close my door. I'll be out there in a second. But yeah, yeah, man, it's very important, especially when being a parent. That whole scene just right there is very, very sad. I don't know how couples, I know couples, it's a well-known saying or thing that couples get into arguments to have their things that they gotta, get over with each other. But again, it kind of boils down for somebody being the bigger person. And in my opinion, I think it's usually up to the man, because I think we're a little bit more emotionally grounded as opposed to our female counterparts. You know, they're a little bit more emotionally unhinged. It could be the case, but I'm not saying that for everybody. You know, I'm not saying that for every woman. You know, but yeah, men, we need to be a little bit more stronger mentally, emotionally, just for the sake of you know, your women and your kids. Like, damn, this sucks, and it really does say he kills the woman and the daughter. Like, that is tragic. It's absolutely tragic. This happened June 9th, or this was posted June 9th, 2024. So we're gonna call it quits here, y'all. I know it's been a minute since I did a video. This was a quick one, because this, all the time I have lately is this, you know, what I could do, and it's just a couple of hours before I have to go do probably a whole week of work. I need to work like this right now to catch back up, and it's been lovely. It's been lovely financially, but time-wise, you know, I don't have much time to do any other thing. So just keep in mind that this is not going to be a consistent thing, like going down the line in the future. At some point, I'm gonna be comfortable where I want to be at. I'm gonna get to that point pretty soon. I think I'm ready there, but me, I like to, again, think ahead of time, so I just want to make sure I got extra backup, if that makes sense. And yeah, I'll go ahead and get back to doing these videos a little more consistently. But until that point, you gotta stay peaceful, stay positive as always, and I will catch y'all way later. Alright, I'll be honest this time. Way later. Peace.